I like to say this, folks. People never want to be part of the process, but they want to be part of the outcome. The process is where you figure out who's worth being part of the outcome. Why am I sharing this? Because there are a lot of people who are sleeping in their houses, enjoying themselves when they get up in the morning. First thing, they rush to social media, Facebook, WhatsApp to find out what has happened to the talks of the Republic of Cameroon in our land in Ambazonia, but they don't want to sacrifice a dime. They don't want to do anything to support our liberation movement. They rush quickly to see is the Monday Ghost Town still being respected, but they don't want to sacrifice a dime. They don't want to assist our people who, by their determination and resiliency, continue to respect the Monday Ghost Towns. They want to see quickly who has fallen where, but they don't want to spend a dime to assist our prisoners of war who are suffering in the various dungeons of La République du Cameroun. Today, we are celebrating Comrade Sisiku Julius Ayuk Tabe, celebrating Pa Wilfred Tassan, celebrating Shuvai Bless Servizem, Che Fidelis, Pam for Ngalam for. In fact, you can see all of them there. I don't even need to go calling all of them. You have Dr. Wasum, Barrister Eyambe, all of them. They are all there before you on the screen. We are celebrating these people because they were not shy of being part of the process. They saw the people crying. They heard the pains. They imagined they imagined the humiliation our people were going through. And they decided that they would not be silent. My dear people of Amazon, sometimes we have just talked about these people, the Nera 10. We have just talked about Sisiku Julius Ayuk Tabe, or the leadership of our liberation movement. We have just talked about them and brushed over, now they are prisoners of war. Sometimes we have not taken time to pay careful attention of who were these people. Look at all these people you see on my screen here. None of them was ever suffering from want. None of them, none of them was a poor person. Not one of them. There is not one of them that was not in a privileged position that they could get whatever they wanted for themselves. No, none of them was a pushover. You look at them there. I will not talk about Comrade Eyambe. You people know Comrade Eyambe was a lawyer based in Kumba. He had contracts in big companies. Comrade Eyambe, he was fine. Batasang was, the president of Katu. And besides that, he was a teacher. Batasang had constructed a house, was living in his house. Batasang was not a beggar. Barrister Shufai Bless Servizem is well known. I don't need to say anything about him. Dr. Wasum, all of them here, Dr. Kimen, all of them. Now look at Sisiku Julius Ayuk Tabe. He was one of the vice presidents of the American University of Nigeria in charge of IT. He was one of the vice presidents of the American University of Nigeria. Dr. Fidelis Ndochie owned a company in Abuja where he had a workforce of over 300 people. A workforce of over 300 people. I don't want to go. All these people. Look at Pam Fongalamfo. Pam Fongalamfo, who has been timeless in this liberation movement. I must say it. Pam Fongalamfo's works, his write-ups, published in English language newspapers, week in, week out, prior to 2016, provided the necessary education and laid the groundwork for ground zero to be brought to the cause of our freedom. Dr. Fongalamfo might have been on retirement, but he was not a pushover. He had his children abroad, even his wife was abroad. He had children all over the place, where he could also go and sit and be enjoying his life. All of these people you see here, they sacrificed mightily. Mightily. Today, They are in the dungeons of the enemy, purportedly serving life jail. How often do we rise and say, I am putting my money together to make sure these people should not go hungry? Not only that, how often have we asked ourselves, now that they are no longer active, a lot of them, their businesses must definitely have been attacked by La République du Cameroon one way or the other. How often have we bothered to say, let's check on their families wherever, or even just give calls that are suiting? How many of us, how often have we done that? We must learn that the spirit of sacrifice is what fuels a liberation movement. And when the people know that if something happens to me, if I'm not there, the rest, the people will continue to stand with me, that is enough fuel in the engine of the revolutionaries. But if they imagine that if something happens to them, we will stay behind and focus on fighting for power. We will stay behind and focus on fighting to being present at negotiation tables. We will focus on fighting to say that they should even die in there so that we get goodies from the enemy. Then we are going to be discouraging even those who are still fighting, because they'll be telling themselves that the fate that is befalling these people is the same fate that awaits me. Right inside the dungeons of La République du Cameroon, I don't want to take time off to tell you what these people are still doing. I'm telling you, you have no idea just what they are still doing, even from behind the bars in the enemy's den, to make sure that this liberation movement continues to be strong. Sometimes, the little one that we have sent to them to help themselves with, they will take it. And they will still send it out there to some in the refugee camps, to some who are internally displaced and are in the bushes looking for food to eat. Yes, they have that big heart. That is why supporting them is of utmost importance. They have organizations through which they too have been trying to raise funds by all means. If you know and have any link, please don't hesitate to support them through that means. While I encourage you to support this movement and also support our efforts that we have been taking towards internally displaced people, towards our foot soldiers going from community to community on the ground, towards our refugees, and of course that want to start paying attention much closely towards these people, you can also use amberrelief2018@gmail.com to contribute either through PayPal or through Zelle. That is if you're not able to reach directly out to them. If you can, fine. If you still come through the Ambazonian Relief Fund, trust me, we will definitely get to them. But most importantly, please, we must pay attention to the challenges that these people are facing. We must pay attention to the challenges these people are facing. The challenges are enormous. They are not the only ones. Don't mind because I front them, because I'm talking here of the Nera 5 anniversary. I learned with dismay, and I was still trying to confirm with my friend Benji. I'm sure he will be shocked to hear me say with my friend Benji, because we've not been in contact for a long time, who is also there in Koningi, that he was also handed a life jail term. Maybe no one has even heard about it. He was picked up in Calabar, with the second group of our people were picked up and shipped to La République du Cameroon. There are many of them like that. There is Amabo Marcel. Marcel, our brother who has been in the New Bell prison. Very little or nothing is even being said about him. He was picked up weeks away from the time he was going to get married. Is he still together with his fiancée, or it has ended? I can't tell. But how much attention we pay to our people, to the challenges they are facing, the love we show to them when they are in difficulties, will determine just how committed and focused those who are still outside now and fighting will continue to be. It is important for us to pay attention to this. In my last outing, I said here, please call the families of those our fallen brave hearts, those heroes that you were getting up every morning to see the result of their activities on the front lines on the ground. Those General A, General B, Tiger, Bie, Ivor, Chacha, Insobu, all of them. Please, Transporter, all of them. There are many of them. Huh? I may not call all their names. But folks, bitter caller, reach out, find out, did they have wives? If yes, did they have children? Even if they did not have wives, did they have children, recognized children, who also had dreams that their parents were, that their father or their parents are going to help them fulfill? Reach out, sponsor the child of a fallen brave heart. Make that a point of duty this 2025. I saw comments from a lot of you out there on my last video. You approved of this, and I'm very glad with the feedback I've had. A lot of people have called me. I mean, too many people have called and sent text messages to say this is an awesome idea. Of course, this is an idea the consortium intends to push, to foster, that we should help our people. We should help our people understand that this liberation movement is about them. It's true that there will be a challenge sometimes getting to know the real children who are supposed to be beneficiaries of some of these fallen heroes. But a little effort would guide us to the right people. It's not going to be complicated to know. But this year, by all means, your $50 a month, your $100 every month would change the life of that child, be it a girl or boy, going to, university or secondary school or even primary school or even kindergarten. Your $50, your $100 every month for the one you have adopted. Your €50, your €100 every month for the one you have adopted will make a difference. And it will help to redefine this liberation movement. This is something we need to do. I know we have carried out actions like these ones, going out on the streets, screaming around the world, mobilizing the international community, calling on international bodies to intervene. Yes, the international bodies have answered. I recall the United Nations, a UN organ, the human rights organ, actually came out with a ruling calling on the government of La République du Cameroun to unconditionally release the Nera 10. But that has not come to pass. Actions like this have helped tremendously. But today they're in short supply. We need to make sure that actions like this become again an order of the day within the ranks of the people of Ambazonian, wherever you are. We need more of this kind of actions, not only for our people who are in the dungeons, but also to make our people who are on the ground to recognize that the steam is still very strong across the board. This is absolutely important. My people of Ambazonia, like I said earlier, we also have prisoners of war in the United States of America. These are people who had careers. Some of them already were established, bought their homes. Some were just 1-2 years away from retirement to earn their retirement benefits. They had multifarious advantages that they have now lost because they are in jail for our sake. In this United States of America, they have families. Some of them will have just a wife now operating as a single mother with children. Even if you will not give your dollars. How many of us called during Christmas just to rush down and say, take this little Christmas present? It was a season of sharing. We shared presents among our friends, our loved ones, our family, and everything. How many of us in the United States went to any one of them? They may have challenges. Those wives may have challenges with so many overheads. Someone, or a group of people can decide to take even just one of the utilities or just anything, just anything. Sometimes, like I said, even just a call, a cordial visit will be very reassuring and heartwarming. How many of us have done that? How many of us are doing that? Folks, this 2025 will be a very determining year in our liberation movement. We must get up from slumber and be more supportive. We must get up from slumber and show those who face challenges along the line that we will never leave anybody behind. We must do that. That phone call, that visit will be extremely helpful. Same thing with Comrade Chua Yaba, who's in Norway, in the dungeons. Like I said before, we must recognize that anything can happen to any of us at any time in this liberation movement. Therefore, the way we treat others when they are facing challenges could determine the way we will be treated when we are faced with our own set of challenges. My dear people of Ambazonia, brave warriors of our liberation movement, fellow Southern Cameroonians, let us wake up from our slumber. Let us do the needful. Support this liberation movement. Support this liberation movement by whatever means you can. If you want to make contributions, as you see on my on the code of this channel, see where it says support the struggle. Either Zelle or PayPal. Zelle if you're in the United States, PayPal if you're in the United States or anywhere out of the United States. It's the same thing. amberrelief2018@gmail.com. I want to thank all those who have continued to contribute their widow's mite every now and then to make sure we keep this liberation movement alive. We will make it. We are up to the task. We must remain determined and focused until we get to where we are going. I want to thank those of you who were part of this live broadcast, and make sure you share the link as much as possible so that those who were not able to join this broadcast live should have the opportunity to watch this conversation. Thank you very much. I will be back here this Tuesday, January 7th, to look at the speech by the president in our noisy neighbor's country. Just the things that concern us. I will be back here. Thank you very much. Until then, have a nice time.